So hello, this is Stephen Downs, and in theory I should be live streaming right now. And my problem is I don't know what the URL is for the stream, and so I don't know how to share it. Oh, here we go, live. Here we go. This must be it. And still looking for the URL. And oh, for goodness sakes. I'm still looking for the URL. I am streaming, apparently. See? Learning Next.js is the title of this video. Details. Analytics. See, I keep clicking buttons and nothing happens. That was a sibilant S. I don't think I've ever done that. No, none of that helps me. Oh, how silly. What a way to start a video. Let's reload my channel and see if that helps. Reload. Here we go. Live. Buttons and the internet. Happens. That was a sibilant S. I don't think I've ever done that. So I can shut that down. Notifications. Something in Dutch. So oh yeah, dreams. Okay, let's go away, silly thing. All right. Now that I've advertised it, I can go to the stream proper, which I believe is still streaming, so we'll find out. And maybe I should just close my email so I don't get those. And it's not going to go away now. Okay, good. All right. Come back to that diagram in a minute. See, I actually did plan this a little bit. So, here we are. Again, I haven't read this. I don't have the barest idea of what it's about, although you saw from that quick diagram that I have some idea of what it's about. I'm hoping this edition of Stephen Follows Instructions is shorter than the last one, which turned out to be a 3-hour and 15-minute marathon. It's 10 o'clock. I got 2 hours before lunch. Should be able to make this work. Hopefully in a lot less time than last time, but yeah, who knows, right? It's the internet. So this is about Next.js. That image, the little JS is tiny there. It's developed by Vercel. And you might not recognize what Vercel is, although it was in my last video. It's the upgraded or new version of, I think it was Zeet. So this is yeah, okay. So I have an account, so great. So where's Vercel on the Wikipedia page? I guess there's a place called Vercel too, right? So Wikipedia. So okay, it's a page for Next, and maybe that'll take me to Vercel. Maybe Vercel doesn't have a Wikipedia page. That would be very odd. Owned by Vercel. No link, no page. Wow. 5. How weird is that? That can't be. Yeah, Vercel doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Well, there's an opportunity for you, people. Give Vercel a Wikipedia page. Anyhow, I think it was called Zeet. Yes, Zeet is now Vercel. I wonder if Wikipedia has a page for Zeet. Because Vercel, at the very least, should redirect. No, this Zeet, I think it was Tangerine Dream's second album. Ages ago, it came right around the same time Alpha Centauri did. Zeet is a brilliant album. There are high notes in that just catch you. Anyhow, if you ever get a chance to listen to it, do so. But we're going to disambiguate, and I don't see Zeet listed in Wikipedia either. So there you go. There's some opportunities for Wikipedia developers to add some content. All right, but so the React framework for production. So here's what I think is going on. So React, this is overall, let me make this big. So this is how the internet works these days. You have a front end and a back end. The front end is usually your web browser, although if you're using a mobile phone, it might be an app, or it might even be a client program. I did a talk a long time ago about something called Electron, which is a type of program you can write that runs on your desktop like any other program, and it might be one of those. And then there's the back end, which is the stuff that's happening on the internet. Now, usually, the way it used to be is the back end would just send you a web page, something in HTML with some CSS styling, maybe some JavaScript, some images, video, whatever. But these days, the front end interacts with the back end dynamically using an API, Application Programming Interface. That data is usually written in a language called JSON, JavaScript Object Notation. So my big project these days is converting Grasshopper from this to this. What a mess. But I need to do it because, I just need to do it. Okay. So, React is front end. And it interacts with a back end, but it's a front end styling library. I know, it's more than that, but let's just think of it that way, right? What you need to do on the back end is, if you're using React on the front end, you need to send your information appropriate for React. How are you going to do that? Well, there are various frameworks for doing that, and Next is a framework. Next is JS, JavaScript. So that tells me it is probably written in Node.js. Node.js is a back-end JavaScript library. It's like writing your web server in JavaScript. Why would you do that? Because your browser uses JavaScript, and if the front end is in JavaScript and the back end is in JavaScript, the world is in harmony. So, Next is probably written in Node, but I don't know this. But that's where we're at, okay? So, here we go. The React, or Next, little tiny letters, the React framework for production in great big letters. All right. I wonder if I have anybody chatting or even viewing. Oh, yeah, I've got, see, I can look at my stream settings as we go along. So here we are. So this is YouTube. Warning, please check the resolution. Okay, we had that last time. And then open widget. What does that do? Nothing. All right. So we have one person viewing now, and that person is probably me. Doesn't matter. Okay, so let's start learning. We've already occupied 10 minutes or so of our video. All right, so here's what we're going to do is create a Next.js app. So here's the contents. All right. We even get to deploying. Cool. Excel. These are topics. Excel. JavaScript or TypeScript. TypeScript is kind of like a pre-scripting language. You write in TypeScript and then it can be compiled into JavaScript. So I think. Could be wrong. All right. Let's say, and you'll notice about my videos, I say lots of things that could be wrong. Remember, I'm learning here, right? This isn't me, the expert, telling you, here's everything, right? This is me learning. This is how I learn. Hard to do. So that's why I do these things live, right? So we catch all the surprises as they happen. Okay. To build a complete web application from React, with React from scratch, things you have to consider: code has to be bundled, you need production optimization, you might want to statically pre-render some pages, yeah. You might want to write some server-side code to connect your React app to your data store, yeah. Wouldn't be very useful otherwise. A framework can solve these problems. And that's what React is. Now, disclosure, this is how far I read before doing this video. Okay. So, okay, blah, blah, blah. So this is telling me good things about Next. All right. So this free interactive, glad it's free, this would be a very short video otherwise, will guide you through how to get started with Next.js. We're going to create a very simple blog. Here's an example of the final result. All right, so let's look at what we're trying to build. Okay. Hi, I'm Shu. Here's a page. Back to home. 2 forms for pre-rendering. Back to home. It's nice that it's January 1. Oh, that's last year. So this is a year old. Okay. All right. Oops. Oh, no, not quite. All right. It popped into a new window. Okay. If you've never written React code, you should go through the official React. That would add 3 hours to our thing. So let's not bother reading the actual documentation. All right, start now. Was this helpful? I don't know. We just started. All right, setup. Let's make sure your development environment is ready. Okay, we ran into problems on this last time. So if you don't have Node.js installed, install it from here. So this is it, right? And so the way you install it is you click on the current one recommended for most, or not the current one, the one recommended for most users, because we're not going to experiment with Node. So you download that and install it. I'm not going to run the installer because I already have it installed. How do I know I have it installed? Well, I'm going to go to, see, once again, Windows. Why do you do this to me? Why are all my tiles blank? I mean, really, Windows? So I can go into the Windows PowerShell. All right, and I'll type node. And here we go. Welcome to Node.js version 14.15.3. Take note of that. So I need 10.13 or later, and I do have that. You'll be using your own text editor and terminal app for this tutorial. Okay, so I use, and I've talked about this before, I use an application called Visual Studio Code from Microsoft. All right, so here we go. And I'm going to open a new project or new workspace or whatever, new, whatever. We'll just, this is what I'll be using. I don't know what I'm going to need to use in it at this point in time, but we'll be using this. And gee, I've made this slide before actually. I'll have to capture that and use it for my presentations. Visual Studio Code is nice because it integrates, here's a running version of it where I'm doing some Grasshopper work. So on the left hand side, it's got a directory. In the middle here, the big window, it's got a text editor, and then down here it's got a shell, just like PowerShell, only it's, in fact, it is PowerShell, but it's built right into the web editor. So I'm actually using this on another project, which I should be working on right now, but I'm not. All right. So this is a different window, so I can work on two different projects with two different windows. You can run more than one window at a time. That's probably what I'll do here. All right. So I have my own text editor and terminal app. If you are on Windows, we recommend downloading Git for Windows and use the Git bash that comes with it. Windows Subsystem for Linux is another option. This is an option for a lot of people, and in fact I have that. It's abbreviated WSL. Currently, if you aren't, you could be and perhaps should be using WSL2, but this is disabled on a lot of systems, including a lot of Windows systems, either by the enterprise or I think if you don't have Windows 10 Professional, you're not going to have this. So you can just use Git for Windows, which is what I do anyways. There's no need to open up a separate Linux window for this. I have already downloaded and installed Git for Windows. What Git is a platform where I can store and share my programs. So I'll show you my Git page. GitHub. So GitHub is a place that runs Git. Here's my Grasshopper code on GitHub, and as you can see, here are my scripts that I use on GitHub, and anybody can access this page, share this code, fork this code, and it's been done a couple of times, etc. So I have Git installed. Now, where did my PowerShell thing go? Yeah. Oh well, I'll just use my terminal in here. So terminal, new terminal. All right. So this is just like opening PowerShell. Remember, I tested Node, right? Control C to exit. Oh, Control C again to exit. All right. Now I'll test Git. And yes, that appears to work. If I want to see what version of Git I have, is it -V? Nope. 2 dashes? Nope. Spell it out? Nope. 2 dashes and spell it out. Version 2.29. Yeah, I wish stuff like this was standard, but it's not. Okay. There's an awful lot of trial and error in my coding. You may have seen that before. You're certainly seeing it again. All right. So, okay. Create the Next.js app. To create a Next.js app, still with one viewer, open your terminal, cd, change directory into the directory you'd like to create the app in, and run the following command. Okay. Okay. There's a lot going on here. npx. Well, I assume npx will work because Node works. So, first, okay, cd into the directory you'd like. So, what you typically do, right, in a terminal to change directory is you cd and then whatever. I'm just going to use the navigator over here. So, I'm going to open a folder. All right. If I don't want to do that, I can also just click. Oh, right. Well, it's going to make me do that. So open folder. I put all my code projects in a directory called, are you ready? Code projects. And then I put them in subdirectories depending on what I'm working on. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of different stuff. Oh yeah, there's Zeet. It says 2020, but it's actually from 2017. It's a result of migrating everything over to this computer. So select folder. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call it Next.js. And I'm going to select that folder, select folder. All right. So, okay. There's my new folder. Now, why did I do it that way? Let's open up the terminal. Look, I'm in that directory now. So I don't need to cd. I just open a folder in Visual Studio Code, and I've done the same thing. If I was using PowerShell, I would just do cd and then this directory. Of course, I'd have to make the directory. Okay. So here I am. I'm in this directory. That's a lot of work to do. Yeah, but really, you know, I'm spending more time explaining it than doing it. Doing it was like a 1-second operation. All right, so let's run the following command. Right-click, copy, and then back into Visual Studio Code. Right-click, and it actually executes the command for me. While it's executing, so create next app. Next.js blog. So use npm, etc. I wonder how it knew how to do that. So example, that's pretty easy to figure out. But npx create next app. npx is np exchange, isn't it? That must be what happened here. Okay, so let's check that. So npx, I'm just searching for npx, execute npm package binaries. So yeah, all right, so what this, it's kind of a shortcut, isn't it? What this did is it's accessing a binary, a web program, or a computer program, from an exchange. The name of that program is, come back to it here. Oops, I'm doing stuff while I've been away. The name of that program is create next app, and then that's Next.js-blog is going to be a parameter that we're passing to it. There are probably more next apps. Let's look that up. Why? Because I want to know. So create next app. All right, so create next app. Okay. This simple CLI tool. Yeah, so you can use an example. It's officially maintained by the creators of Next.js. Okay, zero. All right. Is it going to tell me? So npx, or also yarn. Yarn, we saw this last time. Yarn is a thing that is like npx, right? It's a thing that will allow you to run node commands, installation or setup commands, and one of them is create, and now here's the next app. So, all right. So it's not going to tell me more, like, are there other next apps, or maybe there's only one next app that we're calling. Yeah, I bet you that's it, because I would expect to see others. All right. So back here, we're calling it, I guess, Next.js.blog, and then use npm node. npm is node package manager, so we're using node in the example. All right, so let's look and see what happened then. Again, if I was just doing this without videoing it, that's a 1 second, well, maybe a few seconds, but all right. Installing packages. So I downloaded some code from GitHub, libvips, whatever that is. Created code projects, Next.js blog. So there's copying DLLs. Okay. Initialized it. Oh, it initialized a Git repository. Did it really? Oh, only in my, it didn't do it on GitHub yet, but I have a Git repository now in this directory. We should be able to see that. I'm going to open up the Explorer. And come on, open up the Explorer. Okay, all right. Next.js blog. Okay, so this is the directory that it created. There's git ignore, and there's probably this other system stuff that it would have made in order to create the Git repository. So it downloaded all of these node modules. It built a page, index.js, gave me some icons and graphics. Git ignore tells Git what to ignore. Package lock and package.json tells us what it did. And more importantly, it'll tell other things what it did. See, here are the dependencies. And then README, this is a starter template. All right, so fine. Okay, under the hood, this uses a tool called Create Next App, which bootstraps a Next.js app for you. Uses this template through the example flight. Let's look at the template, which is the GitHub, right? Okay. All right. If it doesn't work, take a look at this page. All right, well, it did work. You now have a new directory called Next.js blog. Let's cd into it. So let's go back to my terminal here. Okay, cd ex. Now I'm going to hit tab. When I hit tab, it looks there and sees what corresponds to what I've typed already. And now I've cd'd into it. Tab's a little shortcut, so I don't have to spell out the name of the directory every time. I type part of the command, like cd next, and then hit tab. And if there's something that corresponds, it types the rest of it for me. That also works in PowerShell. All right. Okay. Next. Now, Npm Run Dev. Okay, I know about this. So, the way you make Npm work is you execute a run command, and then somewhere in Npm there's going to be a directory that says run. It's probably, I wonder where it would be. Is it in here? No, it's not in here. There's a place for it, but I forget where it is. Let's go back up here. No, timeline. No, there's nothing else in there. It's somewhere. So, okay. Run, Npm Run Dev. Okay. So, what's happened? I wish I could remember where that is. I mean, it's in all of NPM. There are different configurations, right? So it'd be Npm Run Dev. If you're running the production version, it'd be Npm Run Production. If you want to run some tests, you might run Npm Run Test. And if you look at my Electron Express video, I actually look at that in some detail. But okay. Now, so started the server, compiled successfully, and you notice I don't have a prompt anymore. That means this terminal is busy running this server. So if I want to execute any more commands, either I have to stop the terminal, stop the server, or I have to create a new terminal. I'm not going to do either for now. We'll just leave it. It's on HTTP localhost, so let's follow link, control and click. Let's try that. Now here's what the server is doing, and localhost 3000. So welcome to Next.js. So far so good. Better than usual. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. Run dev. Let's see if it's working. We just did that. Quick review. What text do you see on the page? Oh, they're going to test us. They're going to test us to see, well, what text did we see? Welcome to Next.js. Submit. Correct. Good job. That's interesting. It's a 50-50 chance. I wonder what if I had gotten it wrong. Not that it matters. All right. So this is our page. Help is available. Let's try to edit this page. Indeed, let's do that. Editing the starter page. All right, open pages, index.js. All right, that's easy enough. So open the page, find the text, change it. So we'll go back to Visual Studio Code. I've already opened, but here it is, page.js.index, or sorry, index.js. Okay, create next app. And what was I supposed to do? Oh, welcome to, and change it to learn. I don't think it says that. I can't find it. Import head from next head. Control F. Welcome. Oh, here we go. Welcome to Next.js. See how useful search is. So learn. And then Control S to save. Or I could just go File, Save. You'll notice it indicates up here that I have an unsaved file. So Control S. Now, notice here, this tells me that my Git repository is telling me that I have something that I've modified and would need to add to the repository. But we're not going to do that just yet because we don't care just yet. All right. That should have changed. Oh, learn to next. Oh, let's make this work grammatically. So, where was it? Learn to, let's change that. Control S. And again, this is pretty cool, right? And we saw this with React before in another video, but check this out. So there's the page, here's the code, right? So if I come back, gotta find it every time, right? Create next app. Learn, here we go. I'm gonna type Stephen was here. All right, now as soon as I save it, watch this. Right? It updates the page immediately. As soon as I've made the change here, it updates it there. I'll remove this, Control S, and it updates the web page automatically. I love that. I don't know about you, but I love that because it saves me from reloading the page. Yes, I'm that petty. All right. Okay, let's go back to our instructions. Instructions. Oh, who's tweeting me? All right. One is a regular tweeter and retweeter, so it might be him. If so, hi, one. Haven't seen you since Venezuela. It's been a long time. All right. Back to. All right. Learn next. Right. The Next.js development server has fast refresh enabled. When you make changes to files, it automatically applies the changes in the browser almost instantly. It pretty much is instant. Okay. Next lesson. We have one page. Now we're going to create a new page using the integrated file system routing. So index routes. Yeah, so what routers do is route requests to places in your web server. In a sense, all web servers are routers, but routers do it a lot more dynamically. All right. Routers are a good idea, right? Because they, well, I won't go into it, but they're a good idea. Okay, so we're going to use the link component to enable client-side navigation between pages, and then built-in support for code splitting and prefetching. Prefetching is neat because it loads some content before you're actually looking at it, which means when you decide to look at it, it goes real fast. No lag. Okay, so let's start now. Number 2, and we're only 40 minutes in. Okay, if you're continuing from the previous lesson, you can skip this page. Okay, next. Pages. Okay, a page is a React component exported from a file in the pages directory. So a page is a page. Pages are associated with a root based on their file name. Right. So we can see. We already have the pages index. So now we're going to create pages. First page.js or first post.js. All right. So we'll create a posts directory under pages, and then we'll create a file called first post.js with some content. So I'll copy the content. So now I'm going to go into Visual Studio Code again. So I'm in the pages directory, and I'm going to create a posts directory under pages. So click here. Oh, that's file. New folder, new directory, same thing. Click on that. I'll call it posts and hit enter, and now it's created and I'm in it. Now I'm going to create a file in that directory. So new file, and what am I going to call it again? First post.js. So first post.js. First post.js. This is always the trickiest part because I make many typos when I type. All right, so now here it is. So now we have 2 changes, and I'm going to put in the content. And I'm going to hit Control S to save it. Now, what that means is, I'm going to try to think ahead here without reading. On my thingy here, notice it still uses the old Zeet icon. Or maybe that's the new next icon. So I should, was it posts? Yeah, I think it was. So I should be able to, oops, no period. I told you about typos. Go away. All right. Posts, first post.js. Right? Right? Should be there, right? Nope. Why not? Let's continue the instructions. Maybe it'll tell us. Or maybe it wasn't posts. Yeah, it was posts. Yeah. So let's go to the instructions. Okay. This component can have any. So this is the content. Return H1 first post. Oh, you don't type the JS. Like that. First post. Okay, no JS. Yeah, all right, that makes sense. Because it's a router. It's a router. It's not a file name. It's a router. This is not telling me what file I want to get. It's telling me what route I want to follow. Just corresponds with the directory, but it isn't the directory. It could be totally different. All right. Okay. See, the big lessons are sometimes never stated. All right. Okay, you should see the page. Okay. This is how you can create different pages in Next.js. Just create the file and it becomes the URL path. Let's go a little beyond our training. Copy this because I don't feel like typing it, but I'll add a page called Steven.js because I'm very self-centered. Oh, for goodness sakes. Posts. New page. Steven.js. Alright. And I'll change the text. See, it's like a function. First post. That function can be called anything, they said, remember? So I'll call it Steven's post. With no apostrophe, because that will create an error. Oh, show fixes. Oh, there's a fix? Move to a new file. Why would I do that? I don't want to move it to a new file. Control S. Why would I want to control? Well, it's not showing me the fix anymore, so anyhow, now I should be able to see it in Stevens. Nope. Why? I don't know. So you think you've learned something, and then you learn you haven't learned something. Maybe that's what the error was. Let's call it Steven. So now the function will be the same as the name of the page. And I'll make it lowercase too. Oops, with an S. Could be a little unstated role, maybe. Let's try it now. Let's try it as Steven. Ah, helps to get the right the right URL in. Okay. Now, did that function matter? Notice the thinking here, right? I ask a question, now I'm going to test it. Did the name of the function matter? I'm going to change the name of the function. It did not matter. You notice it did reload though when I changed the name of the function. It's not only when I change the content. Alright. Okay, so I get it. Type the right name there. Okay. Back to pages. Okay. In a way, this is similar to building websites. Yeah, but in other ways, it's really different. Instead of writing HTML, you write JSX, and React components. What's that? JavaScript exporters? JSX. Okay, it's a syntax extension to JavaScript created by React. JSX produces React elements. Okay, so it's actually JavaScript, but It's an extension to JavaScript. Okay. If I wanted to add a new route, you notice route, not root, route. And router, not router, because I'm from the Valley, the Ottawa Valley. All right. Authors/me. What would it be? Oh, I had a new route, authors/me. That's a good question. I'm thinking, let's go back and look at what I see. I typed posts. So that was my root, or route. See, it's my root when I just use it as a noun. But it's a route when I start using it in the sense of a verb. So I'm going to say authors, because authors, and then me.js. So A. Submit. Crap. Okay. Yeah, the expert gets it wrong. Okay. Why was that? Because everything's in pages? Yeah, pages, posts, right. So, and we can prove this. We create a directory called authors. Oops, that's a file called authors. Get rid of that. Yes. A directory. Really, these should be reversed, right? It always goes directories and file. Okay, just saying. So, create a new directory called authors. And then create a file called me.js. We'll put our content in it. We'll call this me. Call this about me. And we'll save it, Control S. So you see we have authors and posts, right? So now that should show up under authors/me, like this. Authors, me. And there it is. And that proves that their answer is correct. Navigate between pages. Yes, we will want that. When linking, just use the A on websites. In Next, use the link. Okay. To wrap the A tag. Just as an aside, this little tick here, I learned. Oh, is this an image? No. I learned yesterday in JavaScript indicates a string literal. In other words, it means a string exactly as typed. That's the string. And that's where you'll see that tick. We've encountered that tick before. I don't know what the real name is for it, but it's not an apostrophe, right? It's a tick. Well, I think it's a tick. It's in a different spot on the keyboard even. Where is it? I don't know if I even have it on this keyboard. Yeah, there it is. See? There's the keyboard. Right. Oh, why did I do it the easy way? That's why. There we go. Okay, here's the keyboard. Here's the apostrophe, right where you're used to finding it. but the tick is up here. Different thing entirely. Okay, back to... All right. That was live video at its finest. Okay, moving on. So, first we have to import the link component, because you would never need linking normally. Okay, so let's go to index.js. So index. Notice I always have to do this little thing here. This is because I have two windows running. Right, this is the Grasshopper code that I should be working on. This is the code that I'm playing with here now. So I have to choose this one. So let's go to posts, first post, no, pages, index.js. Okay. And we have to put this at the top of the page. Import head. So you see what's happening there already, right? Is we imported head. Now we're importing link. So, interesting. I haven't saved this, and so it's telling me that, but the new text is slightly lighter than the old text. Show fixes, preferred fix available. Well, I don't know. Okay. I wonder what the fix says. I bet you it wants me to add a... remove import from next link. Right, because I can probably have a string of them, right? Import, head from next head, link from next link, without having to repeat the word import each time. That's what I think, anyways. Okay, so this line at the top, well, I've added it second. Should not make a difference. If it does, my whole universe has been altered. Okay, then find the h1 tag that we edited last time and change it to all of this. Okay, we're going to put a link right in the head. Don't really like doing that, but so read. Okay, so this is a template. I learned that yesterday because of the little curly U brackets. Okay, so read and then this template, and what's going to go into this template is this stuff. This is probably unique to Next or to React or something, I guess. Otherwise, why is it there, right? Oh, okay. Adds an empty space. Yeah. Which is used to divide text over multiple lines. There's a lot of fancy going on in there. All right. So let's put that in. So let's find, here it is. Yeah, we're changing the whole thing, right? Yeah. You notice I verify lots. Measure twice, cut once. Verify twice, code once. Same principle. Control V to paste what I had copied. So there it is. Well, here's the rest of it. And I'm just going to indent it all by using tab. Notice when I highlight a bunch of text and use tab, the whole bunch of text moves over. Pretty clever, right? So I don't have to do each line at a time. I just do it all at once. All right. And next, open the page, first post.js, and replace it with, oh, okay, we're going to put a link back to home. So we're doing 2 links at once, right? So I'll just copy all of that. Right click, copy. Could also have done Control C. So we'll open up, okay. It didn't tell us to save this, but let's save this. Control S, and then back to first post. And we're changing all of this to this. Oh, I've accidentally duplicated that. Control Z to undo. No, Control Z does something different. No, Control Z is undo. There we go. I did type it twice because 2 things actually happened there. First, the paste, and then something that VS Code did was to auto indent it. That's why I had to type Z to undo twice. Okay, Control V to paste. There we go. I could have done right click paste as well, but Control V is easier. Now Control S to save, and it's easier because, you know, Control C, Control V, you know, it's all right there. All right. So I've saved both of those pages. Those links should be up and working now, but let's, okay, we've done that. And you can see the link components. Okay, so let's go to our, okay, so let's go to the home page. Read this page. This is the link that I created. And, link is not defined. Why? Come back to the instructions. I forgot to import the link, didn't I? Yeah. So let's import link like that. Control S. Now, reload. First post, back to home. All right, so joy, I've created links. Okay, really all we're doing is so far just learning slightly different syntax for creating web pages, but this syntax gives us more power later, so it doesn't seem like much now. But all right, and we've done that. Navigate between pages. So it enables client-side navigation between 2 pages in the same Next.js app. So let's go back to my picture here. So this front end is also client-side, right? And in fact, I should update this, aka client side, and I'll update this, aka server side. So, and now I have to all right, now it's beautiful again. So, and what that means is, okay, I made one request and then got something back, and for the next page, I don't have to make a second request. For the next page, I can do it all in the client side. So, sent one request, got 2 pages back, which I can navigate in between. Now that's cool. Right? It's kind of like, you know, you send one request, get a whole website back. Might be more than you wanted, but page loads are so fast, and if you keep your text reasonable, it doesn't really make a difference. It's the media that's really big. The HTML and JavaScript is tiny, so it downloads like that. And especially if you set it up right, you can start showing your index page while the rest of the stuff is still loading in the background. So, yeah, smart. So that's what's happening here. I only make one request to the server, and I have 2 pages that I can click between. Lovely. Love it. Just love it. Okay. Client-side navigation means the page transition happens using JavaScript, which is faster than the default navigation done by the browser. Yes. Here's a simple way you can verify it. Use the browser's developer tools to change the background CSS property of HTML to yellow. I'm not going to do that. Click the links to go back and forth. You'll see the yellow background persists between page transitions. This shows that the browser does not load the full page. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not going to do that. I'll believe them. I'll believe them because I know it to be true. I do like that they've offered a way of proving it in case you're skeptical. You can see it for yourself. And this is what so much of learning is about. You can see it for yourself. Right? And this is what the essence of teaching is about. You want to make it so that the person can see it for themselves. They don't need to trust you as an authority figure, right? Set it up so that they can see it for themselves, and then it doesn't matter whether or not they believe you. And this applies not just to coding, but pretty much everything, right? You're doing a philosophy course, and you're doing an interpretation of David Hume, right? Well, there are different interpretations of David Hume, but how do you know what David Hume says? You look at the text, you can see it for yourself. People do biblical criticism this way, right? You go back, you look at the Bible, you can see it for yourself. It's in the text. The Quran, same thing, right? Science, you run an experiment, you see it for yourself. And the thing is, you don't have to run every experiment that anyone has ever done. You run enough experiments that you can see for yourself, and that way you begin to get kind of a picture, an overall picture. We might say a model or a representation, but I'm not going to go that way. We'll say a picture, not a Wittgensteinian picture, but just an idea, right? And that gives you the foundation in evidence you can see for yourself for a wider range of claims. That's why I didn't test the yellow, right? I could, but I've seen enough already of how this stuff works that I don't need to test that one. I know that it's true. All right, end of rant. Okay. Code splitting and prefetching. Right, this is the business of code splitting and prefetching. So, summary. Optimizes your application by doing code splitting. You create routes as files under pages and use the built-in link component. No routing libraries are required. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I hate routing libraries. You have to write a whole bunch of code that says this goes to here, this goes to here, this goes to here. Just put it in the right directory. So much better. That's what I've done with Grasshopper. If you want to find a post in Grasshopper, it's in the post directory. Now, it's a directory with 30,000 items in it, but still, that's where it is. All right. You can learn more about the link component in the API reference. Remember, API. Should update this picture. API. Notice I use PowerPoint for super graphics. Why? Because PowerPoint's a brilliant graphics creation application. I can make beautiful professional looking graphics in PowerPoint. Why would I use anything else? Be stupid. And then if I want, I could just export this slide as an image, but what I do is I use the clipper, where'd it go? Snipping tool. I'm just going to do the little resize hack so you can actually see the icon. Snipping tool. I use this all the time. Where is it located? It's located under Windows, Accessories, Snipping tool. Now, Windows keeps saying, oh, we're going to replace Snipping tool. We're going to replace Snipping tool. Over my dead body, you are. Right? See, Snipping tool is moving. Try snip in Sketch. Oh, that's more than I want. I just want a new snip. And here we go. I'll copy this. Right, so here's my image, and now I can save it as an image. Save as. I'm just going to overwrite the old image. And I'm done. All right, and now we'll just go reload that old image. Okay. How do you reload the old image? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's rotate. Okay, I guess in Photos there's no way to reload the old image. So I'll just go into my images directory. Here it is. And there we go. New image, all done. That's what I do. So easy. So easy. Alright. Boy, I hope my mic wasn't really pointed at me and I sort of drift off sometimes. Anyhow, okay. How are we doing? It's 11:11. And I think we're done, aren't we? Quick review. Da-da-da-da. Oh, no, there's another lesson. All right. Assets, metadata, and CSS. Oh, good point. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's quite a bit more. Okay, good. Good. I was thinking that's not very much. We'll try to speed it up a bit. Okay, in this lesson we'll learn how to add static files, etc. How to add global CSS. Good. That'll be handy. Start now. You know, I'm feeling pretty good about this framework, honestly. If you're continuing from the previous lesson, we are. Assets. Okay. Conserve static files like images under the top level public directory. Files inside public are referenced from the root of the application, similar to pages. So let's see if we can find that. Pages. Oh yeah, there it is, public. And here are some icons that we've seen from before. Okay, good enough. The public directory is also useful for robots.txt, etc., Google Site Verification, and any other static assets. Right. Remember in our picture, right? Static data, static assets. All right. So, check out the documents. All right. So if I wanted a new asset images me.jpg, where would I put it? I would put it under public images me.jpg. Right? Yes. Okay. What if we wanted to modify the metadata? Such as the article HTML. It didn't tell us how to put the image in the page. Did it? No, it did not. I do not like that. No, I don't. Okay. But let's have a quick look. Alright. Because I think they've already put some stuff in, right? So I probably don't need... Oh. Rel equals icon, href equals five icon. But that's in the header, so it doesn't matter. P. Yeah, here we go. Image source equals Vercel. Right, so there it is. It's in public. Right, so the public, yeah, okay, I get it. So you're not ever accessing all of this directly. Of course not. We already went through that. You're accessing, anything you're accessing is either this script, index.js, or whatever's in public. So if I wanted my image, so I like to, well, let's look at our example here. Public images me.jpg. Right, so I'd create an image. All right, I think we're good. Yeah, and then I would just use the image tag. Well, there's their example. Okay, I feel stupid now. All right. What if we wanted to modify the metadata of the page, such as the title? Normally we put the title in the head, right? So you just put it in the head. Okay. Head is a React component. It has to have the title, the capital H. So, oops, don't need that. So if we go here, right, the head, well, you can't really see it, but here's where the titles show up, right? And we don't have the we don't have titles for these other pages, so it just shows me the URL. But if we had a title, it would show the title here. Back in the old days, the title would display right across the top of the web page, but they hide them now, and I don't like that. I would rather see the title right there. I mean, there's nothing there, right? Why not put a title there? Why not? Right. Back to reading. Okay, so we're going to add a head to the first post.js. That's why we have to import head. Okay, I get it now. So we have to import this command. So we're importing a React, or well, it's a Next command, but a React component. All right, so let's do that. Go to first post. I'm sure the order doesn't matter. I could probably drop that second import, but I haven't tested that yet. Control S to save. Now, let's go to first post. There it is, first post. See, it doesn't show the title, right? But now if we go back, it should have shown me. Yeah. Let's try reloading that. Oh yeah, let's reload the whole thing. Okay, now there and back. Let's see if that changed anything. Nope. Huh. Oh, because I haven't actually added the head yet. All I've done is put the import head, but now I actually have to put the head tag in. Getting ahead of myself here. All right, we haven't added. So let's, and now we'll just add the title. Well, actually, we're adding the whole head, right? Oh, what's this? I saw that before. Yeah. See how this is different now? Right. Return. Yeah. Come back here now. Yeah. Yeah, it was always there. I just hadn't noticed it before. There is something that goes in there. Oops. Okay. There is something that goes in there. We saw that last week or last time. Template or something, I forget what. So this isn't just empty formatting, but right now it's just empty formatting. Okay, let's save this. Now let's go back and forth, back, forth. Well, let's reload the whole. Remember, oh, it updates automatically. See, there's our title. Right. And we can see the titles here. Why can't the titles be here? I wonder if the titles are in Chrome. They might be. Where's Chrome? Chrome. So here's Chrome. Read this page. No, they're not in Chrome either. But we can see the history, just like in Firefox. So I don't know. Well, that's the title. Okay. All right. What's next? The browser tab. Oh yeah, the browser tab also has the title, but who can read it, right? Right. So the tab says create. Now it says first post. If I had fewer tabs going, I'd be able to see it. Okay. I'd still rather have it up there. Just have the title of the active tab up there. Why not? I mean, why not? All right. But yeah, under there somewhere is the title. Should have shown up. Should have been in the Chrome tab. Okay. Yeah, create next app. First post. You can see it pretty clearly when you only have 2 tabs open. All right. Back to this. Can also add the lang attribute. Learn more about custom documentation. Documentation. I just want to find out what's HTML lang. So I could put that in. Okay. So I wonder if English-CA is an appropriate language. It should be Canadian English. We should have that. So I can put that in the head. Oh, that's got to go in. Notice where it's different. HTML lang. It doesn't say where to put it. Yeah, I got ahead of myself again. So, where do you put the lang? I mean, don't just drop something in here like this. Oh, you do so using a pages document.js file. All right. that's outside the scope of our lesson, but it's there. All right. CSS styling. JSX. That's going to be for React again, right? Style. And I know that this is a template. I know that because I remember that from yesterday. Because my memory is at least 1 day old. All right. CSS in JavaScript library lets you write CSS within a React component, and the CSS styles will be scoped. Other components won't be affected. All right. So, and you can use other CSS libraries such as styled components or emotion. All right. Something to learn later. Has support for CSS and Sass, which allows you to import both of these two types of files. Sass is, it's hard to explain Sass, but it's kind of like what TypeScript is to JavaScript, Sass is to CSS, so far as I understand it. And also you can use popular CSS libraries like Tailwind, which I don't know and I haven't used yet. So how popular could it be? All right. So let's talk about CSS. Okay. First, let's create a layout component. Create a top-level directory called components, and inside that directory, create a file called layout.js. Now, what do they mean by top level? See, that's, do they mean, they must mean the same place as, oh, I never did save that. Let's save that. Okay. Top level, so pages is top level, public is top level, I guess. So components is top level, like that? Or do they mean author? No, they can't. Can they? No. I don't know. I don't know what top level means in this context. Well, I'm going to guess that it means like pages and like public. It's just, I'm sort of surprised because it's not already here. Of course, we haven't used it yet, so okay, let's make a top level directory or folder called components. Spelling it very carefully. And in that top level, let's create a file called layout.js with this content. So let's create a file called layout.js, new file, layout.js, and Control V pastes this in, Control S saves it. 5 files now. All right. Okay, export default function layout children return div children div. Okay. All right, then open pages post first page. Okay. Import layout from. All right. So I'm actually creating my own thing that now I'm going to import. So okay. So up 1 level, up 2 levels. So that's the top level. Let's hope I've picked the right level. I think I have, looking at this, right? Because 1 directory up is pages, and then 2 directories up is, sorry, 1 directories up is posts, 2 directories up is pages. This is the way you do this. This is going to be different depending on where your page is located. All right. So let's go to first post, pages, 1 level, 2 levels, first post, and let's import 1 level, 2 levels, Control S. It bothers me that there's no semicolon or index or anything. Oh well. Okay. Let's come back. Alright. Now let's say, so we haven't done it, we've just set up the infrastructure we need. So now let's add some styles to the layout. We use CSS modules. Okay. Create a file called components layout module.css. Okay, so this is a CSS file. This is standard CSS cascading style scripts code. I've seen this before. So it's going to define a container with a max width of, I don't know, an R36RM. And M is an M space. It's the width of a typed out M. I don't know what the 36R is. 36 radius? 36. I don't know what the R is. Maybe it's React has its own version of M's. Okay, well, let's put it in. Layout.module.css. So back to components, new file. Layout.module.css. Hit enter. Here's my container styling. Control S to save. Yep. Okay. Important to use CSS modules. The CSS file name must end with module.css. Okay. That explains why they called it that. Now, to use this container class inside components layout.js, you need to import the CSS and assign the name to it, and then use the styles container as the class name. All right. So, import styles, copy layout. Okay, so we're importing from the thing that we just created. That makes sense. So let's go to layout.js. Layout. Let's open the right window. Layout.js, which was here. So now we're importing. Probably strictly speaking, don't need that empty line there, but it just makes it easier to read. All right. And now and then right, this is, remember, a template. So styles dot container is the name of the template. So copy that whole line, and then we'll come back into layout.js, and here's that whole line. So div, and this is what we've added, class name equals styles container. So here's styles, and then if we go into layout modules, here's container, styles dot container. If I wanted something different, styles dot Fred, right? I'd have dot Fred here with whatever it is, and then in layout I'd have class name equals styles dot Fred. It's a lot of work just for CSS, but again, we're going to buy some functionality with this. Control S for save. Didn't tell me to do that, but you know, you get the habit after a while. Now it's in a centered container. Well, let's see if it is. And it isn't. Why not? Let's go back. Reload. Not that that should change anything. Have I forgotten to save something? No, everything's saved. First post. Importing layout. Layout.js. We don't need that. Layout modules. Huh. So why isn't it centered? Could be those weird units. I'm going to use inspect element. This is in Firefox. You'd do something different in Chrome. I'm going to reload the page, turn the console on, reload the page, see if I get any errors. No. Warnings? No. Logs? No. Info? No. Debug? No. Oh, those turns them on, not off. No. Inspector. Well, I don't know. See, here's all those preloads, remember? Well, that's not right. And there needs to be a reason why that's not right. See, if this was the wrong directory, it would throw an error of some sort. I'm pretty sure. And it would throw it down here, right? See, I can prove that. Let's change this. See, there's the error. Can't resolve it. So it did find it. Okay. Layout.js. Maybe it just hates these units. Let's just remove these and put color red. That should change my text color if that was working. See? Experiment. Try experimenting. No. That didn't work either. Layout computed. No CSS properties found. Maybe it's just something that doesn't work in Firefox. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z returns it to its original state. Control S. Let's try Chrome, see what happens. Okay. Nope, same problem. Wonder what my one viewer thinks. Oh, I'm sorry, Astronomia. I didn't see you before. And I don't know why it held it for review. That's annoying. Sorry, I just spotted a message from Astronomia Observacional. Okay. It's offering to give me Portuguese subtitles, I think. Yeah. Alright, I guess that's why it was flagged. Alright, anyhow, I'm up to 2 viewers. I actually peaked at 3 there for a bit. And I've had at least one since just shortly after 10, so hang in there. I'm going to figure out this problem, and I'll try to watch for your comments now. Okay, so this really annoys me because this should work. Alright, let's create a layout component called components layout.js. So, components layout.js. There's the function layout module.css. Okay, create a file called layout.jss. Export default function layout capitalized. Okay, then open first post. Import the layout from. Okay, so first post, import layout from. Yeah, no problem. And we tested that, so we know that that's correct. All right, adding CSS. So here's our container with the weird units, but okay. So this is layout.module.css. In components, layout.module.css. Container, all of that's there. This is slightly different. That shouldn't make a difference. Okay. Import the CSS. Import styles from layout. Okay, so let's go back to layout.jss. Import styles from layout.module.css. No, that's all done. And now we should show it in a centered container, but it's not. I mean, And in fact, none of this styling works because I tried the color as well. First post.js. I'm just going to change the order of these because maybe it's a factor. No. Is it actually changing? Ah. Oh no, that's the title, right? Okay, it's changing. think there's something missing in the instructions, honestly. If you take a look at the HTML in your browser's dev tools, you'll notice that the div rendered by the layout component has a class name that looks like whatever. It automatically generates unique class names. Okay, well, let's look. Inspect element. Div. Well, I don't see a div ID here at all. So there's the header. There's the style. There's dot layout container. Okay, there's the layout container. All of this, and then the source. But the problem is nothing is actually using that, right? Div ID equals, it's not using class or anything. So if we come back to right, come back to this first post, import layout. That's just a guess. Oh, didn't like that at all. Okay. Would have been cool if it had worked. Let's just try a container. Nope, didn't like that either. It does seem odd that I'd be importing layout but then not applying it anywhere in here. That feels odd to me. But I mean, you know, I can't really trust my intuitions. Well, they said there's an example. Way back, remember way back when? There was an example. Let's actually open this up in a different window. Oh, I don't want to. Alright, yeah, that'll do. No, all the way back. Editing the page. Component. Setup. See, that one's nicely done. Right, so let's look at the source. Okay, so there's the stuff. Public styles. We haven't hit that yet. Although that's interesting. Let's look in public. Nothing but that, right? Now let's look at my setup. See, I don't have styles. Don't have anything, right? I have components. There's layout.js. He's done a bit more than me, obviously. Port layout. Port head from next head. Let's try see if that makes a difference. See, now what I'm going to do, right, is again, right, this is principles of science, right? I'm going to try something, see if it makes a difference, take it away. Try something else, see if it makes a difference, take it away. This could get tedious. Fair warning. Though if I'm lucky, it'll work first thing. All right, so let's check. So I'm at layout.js. Layout.js. Import head. Control S. Did that change anything here? No, it did not. Import link. Import utility styles. It's just, yeah, that's just the other. Okay, you see, we saw that. Okay. I'm not seeing any of those weird units either here. What was the name of that? What was the name of that file? That was in layout module.css, right? And that was just in components. Now he's not actually using that one in his example anymore, is he? No, he is not. Components. Oh yeah, there it is, layout module. Rem. Yeah, he is. But mine seems to have a space. No, no space. Rems or whatever they are. Components seems to work. Could add all of that. All right, well, let's check his pages then. So, go to pages, posts. What is this? It's importing post data from somewhere. That's pretty cool, but that turns this whole thing into a template. I like that. Import layout from, and there it is. It's at the top. Probably doesn't make a difference, but let's put it at the top. Post. Nope. And probably not in Firefox either, eh? See, there's something missing there, it feels like. Or maybe not. I don't know. Chibi code. Export default function post, and then that's the data from the template. Here, look, there's div dangerously set in their HTML. It's a mystery. I don't know why it doesn't work. And that's my 2 hours. It's lunchtime now. I mean, I could carry on, but that's something different. Could carry on, but these things didn't work, and I've done them and checked. I've done them exactly like this. Create a layout component that will be shared. Inside components, create file. Add an import and make it the outermost component. So, what, last? Let's go to first post. Okay, that doesn't change anything. What does he mean? Make it the outermost component. Layout. Look. Layout. Right. Okay. There it is. So let's go to Next.js, firstpost.js. Make it the outermost component. I was close when I was putting stuff in there. I was dancing around it. Make it the outermost component. Layout. Control S. Failed to compile because I don't have the corresponding closing tag. Should also say layout. And there it is. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sometimes you gotta highlight stuff, right? You know, that's a pretty simple thing to miss. If I had just cut and paste this whole thing, I would have done it and not even noticed that I was doing it. Okay, now let's add some styles to the layout component. To do so, we'll use CSS modules, which lets you import. So create a file called layout module.css. We've done that. All right. Which of the following styles does Next.js not have built-in support for? It has that. It has modules. Styled JSX. I don't know what that is. Styled components. I'll go with this. Nope. Styled component. Well, that was a guess. Styled JSX. Okay. Oh, yeah, right. Because you have the style in your JSX file. Okay. Global styles. We're only going to go for another minute or two here. Just, I'd like to get finished assets metadata in CSS. And we'll come back to part 2 after. I mean, we don't have to do this all in one go, do we? And we're not gonna, because I don't want us to do another 3-hour video. All right, global styles. CSS modules are useful for component level styles. You want them to be loaded by every page. It's called, okay, create pages app.js. If you want CSS to be loaded by every page, Next has support for that as well. Okay, create a file called pages underscore app.js. So pages new file underscore app.js, and we'll put this in here. Let's go back here and see if he has one. Pages, there it is. Okay, yeah, let's keep this as a reference. Maybe should have been doing this all along, but oh well. Okay, Control S to save. All right. Now what? Restart the development. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Okay. Control C to stop the server. And wonder why. Sure, there's a good reason for it. Like, it won't recognize it. All right, so here we go. To restart it now, I click down here. I hate these birthday things. Click down here just to select the terminal. Now I'll hit Control C and terminate batch job. Yes. And now it stops, and we'll see that there's nothing. Right, see, there we go. All right, next is same as before, right? Npm Run Dev. Npm Run Dev. Npm Run Dev. And we're up and running again. Building. See, builds. It's up and running. It's going to build all my pages now. Let's reload, and it's working again. Good enough. Okay. Adding global CSS. You add global CSS files by importing them from this. You cannot import global CSS anywhere else. Pretty significant restriction, but shouldn't be a problem. Global CSS affects all elements on the page, right? Yeah. So we'll create the styles directory and create global CSS inside. Okay. We saw that styles directory when we were desperately looking for a solution to our problems. So top level, we now know means, whoops, nothing to do with that. We now know means top level, same level as pages and components and public. So top level, what was it? Styles. Create new folder, styles. Then global.css. So make the file, new file, global.css, and put my contents in it. Control S to save. Now we'll just need to bring it into these other files, I guess, right? And open pages, app.js, and import the CSS like files, like so. So we're going to import the styles page. So app.css, app.css, where are you? Pretty sure I made you. Yeah, I think you're in pages, aren't you? Yeah. And we do the import, so we're importing the styles thing that we just made. Whoops. That's not what we wanted. So import styles global CSS, copy. Let's import it. Control S, and that should do it. And it has, I think. Well, maybe it hasn't. Maybe not. You see that the styles are applied. Well, maybe the colors were just boring. Right, A hover underline. Yeah. Yeah, colors are just boring. Let's give it more interesting colors and we'll really see it work. Okay, styles, global, A hover, color pink, Control S. That should have an effect. Or not. There we go. Back to home. Pink. Pink. Wonder why this one didn't work. Because I didn't inherit global styles in it. Yeah. So let's have a look at, first of all, layout.js. Right, first post. Import layout from components layout. Now if we go to index, see it's not importing. I bet you this messes it up pretty badly. Yeah, oh right, yeah, it's got to have the right. It's a higher level page. All right, that should make it better. Yeah. Pink, not pink, still. I wonder why. That seems odd to me. Well, clearly it works, but not on this page. Okay. Well, it wasn't supposed to work on this page, so it's not that deep a mystery, but it's a mystery nonetheless. Let's remove this from index.js. Oh, because I didn't import styles or something. No. First post. No, that's all I needed. Oh, because I don't have this, right? See, I'll bet you. Gotta put this in. And down here. Oops, not. Oh. Too much stuff. That's what it is, anyways. I'm sure that's what it is. Alright, let's remove this because I'm not using it. Okay, almost there. Almost there. Only inside, we know that. They really emphasized that. Polishing layout. Data fetching. Let's polish our page styling and code. Download your profile picture, or to use this file. That's pretty boring. Create an images directory. Save the picture profile in the public images directory. Okay, so public images. So public and new directory, images, and now I'll put my beautiful profile in the images directory. I had one. Let's just use that. Copy. Data, code projects, Next.js, Next.js blog, public, images, paste. And the name of it is ad nauseam. Just going to copy it so I don't have to type it later. All right, so it's in there. It should show up here too, right? Yeah, there it is. Okay, done that. Oh, save it as profile.jpg. I think I saved a PNG, didn't I? Because I would. I did. Let's find another image. A JPEG. Excuse me. It's the plague, the plague. No, no. See, I use PNGs a lot more than JPEGs. PNG stands for Portable Network Graphic. They're a bit lighter. They're not a lot lighter, but they're a bit lighter. I'll use this. It'll change the sizing of it a bit, but that's okay. And I'm calling it profiles. Profile. What am I calling it? Profile.jpg. All right, so now I have profile.jpg in there. It's not me. Just disclosure. That's not me. All right. So now we're going to update this. What does it mean? Update. Why is it big print? Maybe it's a headline. Yeah, it's a headline. Open components layout modules.css. All right. And replace its content with the following more polished. Okay. So we're getting all of this. Copy. Right, so now we've defined container and header image and all of that. Control S. Okay. And we'll have to create styles. And they're doing all kinds of stuff now. There's just, so utils module.css. So we'll copy all of this. Utils.module.css. Utils is short for utilities, obviously. So styles. New file. Utils.module.css. I'll put that in. Save it. So just utility stuff, heading stuff, circles, lists, list items, etc. Now we're going to go to components layout.js. And replace it with, change the your name at the top to your name. Okay. So layout. Okay, yeah, this is the that's the layout thing that we messed around with earlier and had so many problems with. So if I hadn't been able to solve that, we would have had to stop. Notice we're importing, util styles. Notice we're importing link. Notice we're importing as well. I don't know why I'm importing link. Okay, that's why. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in here, eh? This is not just CSS, this is the whole layout stuff. Is that right? Let's check that. Yeah, okay. So there's a lot going on in here that we're just skipping over, but there's nothing I'm not following except, here's the layout, right? So we're going to export this as basically as a layout template, right? And then these are variables in the template, so we can just plug in the styles container name in there. See, styles header. All right. So let's go back. Oops. All right. Here's what's new. Some meta tags. Some Boolean home. Now we'll go to the home page. Index.js, and finally all this stuff is going to be applied to index.js. We're going to completely remove the old code, right? So let's go to index.js. So we don't care that the old code didn't really work on this. So let's wipe all of this out. New code, Control S, and anything else? Oops, keep doing that. And then replace your self-introduction with. Alright, so let's see what we got. I didn't change my name. Yeah, your name, your self-introduction. Right. So I could change my name. Notice I'd have to change it in the template. Where would I have to change it? Not in index. No, indeed. It's not in here. It's not in here. It's in index. Oh, not in here. I forget where I changed it. Not there. Not there. Not in the CSS, obviously. Not in app. Oh, I have a good memory, but it's short. Layout.js. Layout.js. That's why I couldn't find it up here. See, they scroll off, right? Yeah. That's pretty bad usability there. Alright, your name somewhere. Here it is. And site title. No. Notice my site title is Stevens Web. See, I'm inside single quotes, so I had to escape this single quote so that it'll preserve the apostrophe. That should work. Now let's have a look at it. Yeah. And the title, see, preserve the apostrophe. Cool. All right. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. That's it. Why are CSS modules useful? Well, probably this. I mean, yeah. Well, they're both this mostly. Yeah. And styling tips. Just read through the section. I like that. Success, error, class names. So, yeah, I'll have to come back for that. But I'm not trying any of it now. And that's where I'm going to end this. So I've had 1 or 2 viewers through most of it, although somebody left just after noon when I promised I'd be finishing. So that's it for now. I didn't finish. This took me longer than I had hoped. I might have gone faster if I hadn't been doing this video, but I might still be working on it now because there's still 4 sections to go. But I like this. I like Next. I like these instructions. Just the one little glitch with layout there that wasn't clear. Otherwise, these are really clear instructions. They assume a few conventions, but nothing really depends on the conventions. Like, the use of the tick is assumed, but nothing major. And I like what Next does, honestly. I like the kind of output that it's producing. I mean, this is pretty good. And if I can get data flowing out of the database and into it, that's really good. So yeah, I like. All right, that's all. Talk to you all later. Bye for now. I'm Stephen Downs.